Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Zilliqa. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few things here. We're going to talk about this structure from this low point and how we could be potentially setting up for a bigger move to the upside, either here towards the C wave target of this 1-to-1 at this 40.04292 region, or potentially even higher up here if this becomes a bigger trending move, which basically would be looking for this 0.6622 region. So this is possible for as long as we hold this low here at this 2129, and we could actually look for this to progress to the upside. We do need to bear in mind there are still those potentials that we could see a lower low come in here, and basically we were talking about this previously, where we could still see this potentially play out as a fourth in this situation, where we could see this three-wave move to the upside and then basically look for a move to the downside. It is also possible we could get something like a triangle in here. We're going to have to keep an eye on it and see how it develops. There is also that possibility that, within this structure, we could look to actually have completed into this low point here, and we could be looking to push up from this area. So we're going to discuss a couple of those potentials. And basically within this, the important thing here is if we are looking for completion into this low, basically what we want to do is maintain this, obviously this low at this 1527. But ideally, if we're looking for a bullish setup here, we'd want to maintain this low here as well, which is sitting here at this zone of this 2131. So the way we're looking at it is that potentially this could be a B wave or a wave 2, and we could be looking to push away from here. We need to discuss, however, that there is still the possibility as well within this, that we could see this just being a connector wave within here, and actually we set one more low before we look for this move to the upside. So we need to keep an eye on how the structure develops here and sort of what's going on. Obviously, we have the FOMC today, so we need to be aware there is going to be some volatility. So just be careful if you are trading, please, everybody. Okay, so the way I'm currently looking at this move to the upside here is basically there's a couple of ways that I'm looking at this, and the first way is looking at the possibility that we just have a straight up A wave into this high point here, and basically we'd be looking to potentially complete into this high. So what we're looking for here is the possibility that actually from this point we could be looking for a B wave retracement. So a typical zone we would actually be looking for would be potentially down here towards this 02527 to this 02290 region. So for as long as we hold this lower range here, this 2290, basically we can still look for this continuation to the upside. And what we want to see here is a corrective structure to the downside. So this move here is a little bit choppy in itself. There is that possibility that this is an A wave. We could form a B wave and then we come back down. And basically what we'd be looking for that is something like this to play out. And what I'd be looking out for is this possibility here. So given the current structure, we do seem to just have a three-wave move to the downside here. So we need to be careful. This could actually be a wave B low already, just higher up here. I would prefer it to have been a bit lower down here. This is something that I'd rather see this move actually play down into these lower regions here, and then we look to move up from there. But sometimes these will actually fall short. So we need to just see how we react. If, however, we just get a three-wave move to the upside, potentially we could see something like this as an ABC. That one-to-one target would actually be up here at this 2992. So if we do get a push up into this area, we need to be a bit cautious because this would bring us right into this yellow box area, which is a typical flat B wave rejection area. That was quite a mouthful. Okay, so basically what we want to see is, if we do just get a three-wave move up here, and we break this low, what we would then be looking for is potentially this lower target here towards this 2609 to this 2501. And that would be looking for this as a five-wave structure developing to the downside, looking for this to be a C wave to the downside. And then that could actually bring us down here into this zone of this 50% retracement, and then potentially also testing this low range here. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out here. Obviously, we do have a little bit of structure over here, which is sitting lower down, to be fair. This high is still sitting lower down. We would have to be talking about some of this internal structure here that we have as a support area, but it's not the greatest reference. So what I want to see here though is whether we actually start to break down here deeper. If we do, basically this is going to be our support range, and then we're going to be looking for that possibility of having another five-wave move to the upside. If this five-wave move only moves up towards this one-to-one and then starts to break down, so if we get a five-wave move like this, then we start to break down and we actually take this low again, it would indicate that this is a corrective structure to the upside, and then we're going to look for a new low here, or at least a low lower than this point here, this 2126. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on. If we do if we do push up into the zone of this 2934 to this 311 area, basically we could see this just as a corrective move, and then we break down one more time to this 2609 to this 2501 range, and then we could look to actually push up from that point. Um, what we're looking for is basically to see whether we form a three-wave structure. If we retraced down to this 618, it would actually put our one-to-one up here at this 3404. If we only came down towards this 50%, it would put it up towards this 3546. So if we did move 50%, basically this third wave target range would actually be up here towards the zone of this area here, this 4368 range, and then that would be looking for this as a possible third wave target if we do move down to that 50%. There is also the possibility that within this, we could have already completed a one and a two, and then we're starting to form another structure here. We can also, potentially count this move into this high here, where this becomes one, two, three, four, and five. So we need to just bear this in mind. It is possible that we could have actually had this already as a wave two, and we set up another one, two, and another one, two here, and then we're going to actually look to move up. So we're going to discuss that now. Basically, within this, we could see something like this. We actually formed this additional one and two within here, and we could actually be looking for that possibility to actually hold this low of this 2669. So this would be an important area for us to hold if we're looking for this potential direct breakout here. What we would then be wanting to see is this play out as a 1-2. We'd get this nice push up here towards this zone of this 3115, and then we'd be looking for that additional fourth and a fifth wave to the upside. If this fifth wave this yellow fifth wave, if this manages to push up towards this zone here of this 3321, it becomes likely that we're going to get an additional fourth and a fifth wave out of this move. So this could then actually look to push us towards that zone of that 1-1, which would be looking towards this 3674, which would actually be a retest of these highs. So keep an eye on that 1-1 if we do move up here. Potentially, we could just see this play out as an A, a B, and a C to the upside here, and then actually would fail to achieve the bigger target area, which we're looking for here. So if this is a 1-2, what we want to see is a nice strong move up to this zone of this 45-41, and then that would give us confirmation of additional structure here, where we'd get another fourth and a fifth to the upside. So within that, basically what that would be looking for is potentially looking to actually push us up. Let me just throw this on here. Potentially looking to complete up towards this 4773 to this 5173. Obviously, we would need to be aware that, if we are getting this kind of a structure here, this would be indicating that we're potentially going to get some extension where, like I said, this is potentially a 1-2, 1-2, and then, we could actually start to form another 1-2 here, and then actually we push up much higher. So we have to just keep an eye on this. If we do hold this support zone here, this 2669 range, potentially we could look to push up. If we fail to hold it, then basically my first area of defense would potentially be looking for this flat. If we do move up here towards this 2501 to this 2609, if we do not move up and we just actually come straight down here, the final sort of defense for this direct push to the upside would actually be looking for this lower range of this 2527 to this 2290. If we do lose this 2290, then potentially we need to look at some more bearish alternatives, where we could either be looking for one more push to the downside here before looking to move up, or alternatively we could be starting something more sinister to the downside. So we're going to discuss both of those. Within this structure, what we'll be looking for is basically whether this becomes more complex because we're looking at this move from this high point over here, potentially as a flat into this low. And now we want to see whether we actually get further rejection here. So I've drawn this channel just based off of these two lows here, projected up to this top. And I'm keeping an eye on it. It is possible that if we did get another three-wave move up into this area, that could be well, we've already got a triple top here, so it would be a quadruple top if that is a thing. And basically then, we could look to actually push to the downside if we do not break out of it, obviously. The more times we touch on a zone, potentially the more likely it becomes to break, especially when we got an ascending move into it. This move's moving less distance away from this each time, so there is always that possibility that it can start to break out above it, retest it, and then get going and move away from it. So keep an eye on this. These highs here, potentially we could continue to range in this area, and then we could look to actually move from there. But yeah, I'll be definitely keeping an eye on these highs if we do move up into them to see how we react. So the idea here though is basically instead of looking at this as looking to progress up again in a bigger third wave, what we could have here is either this is a completed move into this high, and we're gonna get some kind of a corrective move down, and then we're gonna get another push up, and this is gonna become just a bigger A, B, and a C, and we could look to face rejection in this zone of this 3284 to this low range here of this 26. Well, we've already come into that. So really the higher end here would be this. I don't know why I've got two of these. Let me just move one of these out the way. There we go. This 0293 to this 0384. So this is typically a zone of rejection. This would be your 618 golden pocket area here. Then basically you would have that 786 higher up here, which would be quite an interesting one, potentially lining up with some of these swing highs here. So we could see a reaction off those zones. So keep an eye on that. If we did move up in this manner, so if we'd move down one more time and then look to push up, potentially that could also line us up with this 50% trend line again of this channel to the upside. So keep an eye on that. That could offer us a reaction at least, if not a bigger rejection. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that if we do actually look to push up here. So we do have that bullish case as long as we maintain these lows. The first one would be here, this 2669. Secondary would be here, this 2605. If we start to lose these, that bullish count of extension basically starts to fall apart, and we'd have to argue that this is completed here. We're either forming a corrective move and then we're going to move away, or alternatively, potentially within this move, this is just a B wave or an X wave, and then we actually look to break down. Though, even if it is an X wave, I'd probably want to see something like a diagonal play out here, where we see this play out as a diagonal for a C wave, and then that would be an A, B, and a C. Alternatively, if we're talking about that sort of thing as a diagonal, that could also mean that we've had this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes a diagonal like this, and then we break down for that support zone and then look to push to the upside. Either way, the idea will still pretty much be the same. We'd be looking for that support zone lower down here, potentially towards this 2527 to this 2290. Obviously, if we do push up, this does change that slightly. So we might find that, potentially we could end up pushing up a little bit more here, and maybe this fourth wave comes into play. Or alternatively, we just don't, and we just actually progress down deeper here, either in that flat or that direct sell-off. If we did get that direct push down here, basically that one-to-one would be here in line with this previous fourth, which would be this 2578. So keep an eye on that. If this does play out to the downside here and we get that as a three-wave move, this 2578 looks like a good zone for it. But this move to the upside is looking like a five-wave move, so I would be expecting at least one more push to the upside first before looking for this drop down. But yeah, keep an eye on these lows here. Potentially this could be a zone we actually find support and look to move away. Or alternatively, we could move into these, have a bounce, and then come back down and potentially come back into this channel line, or alternatively, move down into this box area here, this 2519 to this 2287 range. So Yeah, so this is what we're looking for. We do have a couple of options here. We need to be cautious. We're talking about in the previous video that potential of having a fourth wave in this move, looking for this as a fourth wave high as well, potentially, or at least looking for a fourth wave. So if we don't form an additional leg to the upside here, where this becomes A, B, and C, it is possible that within this, because of this mess up here, I am counting it as a flat here, but potentially within this, we could argue otherwise that we have some kind of a WXY in here. And this could then start to break down from this high. So just because of the fact of how choppy this is, I'm being cautious, and I have plotted this out on here as well. This would be looking for that potential of getting a further rejection to the downside. So now I know where that rejection in here came from. Let's put another one on here. Basically, this zone we'd be looking for as a potential rejection would actually be here between this 32.84 to this 28.04. So we can see we've come up to this 618 already. I want to monitor this and see how we react. It is possible that within here we complete some, this is a B wave or wave 2 in here, and then we actually start to break to the downside. So given the current area, if we had to have a direct sell-off here, basically what we'd be looking for first thing I'd be looking for if we do actually just break down, would be to see whether this one-to-one holds. If this 1723, if we blast through this zone, then basically what we'd be looking for would be that potential that actually we could be looking for this third wave down here, which would be looking to take us actually towards this 01225, and then looking for that possibility of a fourth and a fifth wave here. So this would then potentially look to actually push us down towards the zone of the 01129 to the 00991 range. And basically, this could then give us a low point here, and we could then look for that move to the upside, a bigger move to the upside here, and then we could look to actually push up. Obviously, we'd always have to be careful if we do have a five-wave move like this. We'd have to watch this move to the upside. If it's just a three-wave move in structure, then basically that would indicate we have more downside to come afterwards. If we do start to get five-wave structure to the upside, then potentially we could be looking for a new move in a trending structure to the upside here, and then we could actually look to actually come back and take out some of these key levels and invalidate any further extension. But we'd need to get back above this high point here, looking to get back above this 36.96. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.